Quick. Yeah, what are you doing? Come on. I don't know. We're almost ready to go. First letter tonight. When a powerful boss of a mega multinational declares that water should not be considered a basic human right, you know that the system can't work for much longer. What are you doing?
Just chilling.
Just chilling. Can you see him? You can't even see him. He's sitting on the wrong side. There's his hand. That's Cade. The second one tonight. We can't afford to dress in a provocative manner because we'll be inviting trouble. You reckon? And the last letter tonight. Have Australians become the whingers of the world? We used to talk about whinging poms, yet as bad as they used to be, Aussies may be worse. All these letters, a terrific panel coming up in about 20 seconds. Don't go away. We'll see you soon. And we didn't even see Kate at all.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on
Good evening, everyone. Lovely to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour and a terrific lineup. Mate of mine who's never been on this show tonight. We know what we call them. Hello, Tommy.
How are you, Gary?
Welcome, mate. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Years and years of association. You've never been on the show and you finally make it.
Yeah, I've reached the pinnacle. You know, 30 odd years of struggling through the entertainment business, and it reminds me of that Dr. Hook song. You know, cover of the Rolling Stone. You know, you've never been on the cover of the Rolling Stone. I've now achieved it. I'm on the panel on Sweet and Sour. I'll die a happy man now.
Well, don't die in your chair tonight, all right, mate? All right. Good to have you. What's happening in life?
Just busy with the business, with Event Masters. We've got a 40 Towers dinner show.
Okay, who's playing Basil?
A tall bloke with a Pommy accent that does funny things, basically. Great show. They're here for another week and a half, I think, from the UK.
Is that show touring Australia?
No, this one we've actually brought out from the UK.
Wow!
And they were the original ones that did the dinner show thing. And I've got to tell you, there's not too many people that aren't wetting themselves at the show so far.
Yeah,
it's been very funny.
Out here a few years ago, same crew?
No, there is an Australian show which our company toured as well.
Okay, because I saw that one and it was hilarious.
Yes, it is, and they basically, an Australian version of these guys from the UK.
Excellent, good to have you.
We brought out the original one. 16 years or something they've been doing this.
Wow,
very good.
Desi, are you going to Fawlty Towers?
I would love to go.
You're too busy going to movies.
I am. I get paid to work on films. I can't complain.
Oh, what a life. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
What's in the water tonight, Desi?
I don't know. That used to be your catchphrase.
Now, Desi used to be here, how many years ago?
Oh,
you were
8 years.
Our assistant producer?
Yes, while I was studying at uni, that's right.
Wow.
So it's nice to be back.
What, when you were 6?
Oh, you're too kind. Yeah, they believed in child labour back then.
Good to have you here, Desi. Rachel.
Hello.
Hello. You've got a famous surname.
Mills.
Yeah.
It's not that famous.
Half the phone book is Mills.
Mills, that's very true.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Who's your dad?
Steve.
It's like saying, who's your daddy?
Who's my daddy? No, my dad is at home and his name is Steve.
Steve Mills. Why would we know Steve Mills? Because he's on this show very often as well.
He tries.
Is he going to be watching tonight?
Hopefully. I hope so.
No, he's probably going to bed. He's got the breakfast show. He's probably going to be in bed.
Probably in bed. 4:30 he goes to bed.
Simon, how are you, mate?
I'm well, thanks. Yourself?
Have you been on this year yet? Is this it?
No, not this year.
Well, welcome for the first time this year, mate.
So, lucky viewers, I'm back.
Any of these letters requiring any legal directions?
Mitch, I was actually hoping for something a bit light-hearted, and look, these are challenging letters.
All right.
I think the legal stuff might come in the answers.
Ooh, possibly.
Yeah.
Here we go. First one. Where's it come from? Oh, not too far. Wembley, WAD, a panel. No wonder the capitalist system is unravelling. It can't work long term. It doesn't understand the other fundamentals in human nature, namely the need for community and constant human attachment. That's a funny letter to start with, isn't it? Anyway, it's based entirely on the need to grow individual consumption, and that leads to individuals being isolated. Just look at how many of us in the Western world finish up alone in our old age and depressed at any age, something in which the Western world almost has a virtual monopoly.
Almost has a virtual monopoly. That's a great sentence, isn't it?
Terrific. She's not finished there, though. When a powerful boss of a mega multinational declares that water should not be considered a basic human right, as the chairman of the Nestle company did last week, just so he can bottle it up and sell it to you instead. You know, when I was growing up, Nestle used to be Nestles.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
They're fancy with the little French now.
Yeah, well, yeah, anyway. You know the system can't work for much longer, but until we voice up and take back our fundamental rights, more morons like this, without human compassion nor understanding, will strive to the top to run the world and ultimately bring us crashing down with devastating effects. How can we claim back the people power and rebuild community? As I said, Rochelle from Wembley of WA. Simon, what are we doing with Rochelle?
Look, Rochelle, I'm not ordinarily brought on the show to alienate members of the audience, but...
That's what you think, buddy.
Yeah, look, the problem here is, Rochelle, you don't understand the system. The whole point behind capitalism is that we have free will to choose what we want to buy, what we want to listen to. We vote with our feet. You're living in an electronic age now. You have Facebook. We have groups up there who... Where was that radio jock over East? They almost shut him down via a Facebook page.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't Steve Mills.
No,
It wasn't Millsy. You're right, Millsy. Yeah. So, you know, you can do things about this. Is the whole point behind capitalism. Any other choice that you're looking at is going to end up with some moron sitting at the top telling you what you do and how you do it and how much you sell it for. The whole point behind capitalism is that we have the power. The individual consumers have the power. And if you care enough to write a letter, well, care enough to get a group together and start doing something about it.
Should we, as a human race, collectively have the rights to fresh water, to demand fresh water? Why would a bloke turn around who's the head of a multinational and say,
well, I think Rochelle hit it on the head. He wants to sell you bottled water. But you don't have to buy the bottled water.
Stupid enough to buy it anyway. I paid
Absolutely.
$6 for a bottle of water at the movies on the weekend.
What?
Oh, there we go. Mega moron Rachel.
$6? We're going to complain to you in a minute.
Yeah, Event Cinemas.
Not my
$6
fault.
for water.
$6, yep.
Yeah, that is
Do you
a bit
remember
rude.
when water was free and you couldn't buy it in a bottle because you didn't need to?
Well, I don't think she realises it rains. So it's always going to be free anyway.
She can run around the
How do
backyard
you
going,
collect that though?
Exactly.
What are you going to do? Run around in pots?
Get a tank,
All right, what have you got at home?
a tap,
Yeah.
and a fridge.
Do you drink bottled water or?
I do. I am actually really bad. It's something I should probably stop buying because I do. I spend quite a bit of money.
I don't know.
on
I
bottled
don't
water.
know about that debate. You know, there's the people who like the fluoridated water and the people who... Did I say that right? And then there's the others who are completely sold on bottled water. You're a bottled water person.
I'm a bottled water person, yes.
Why do you prefer bottled water? What have you got against the tap water? Just taste better?
Tastes better. Tastes better.
Desi?
Just don't drink it too
Why
quickly.
don't you just buy a filter jug that you can keep in the
Because I'm not that intelligent.
It's a bit more
I'm not that smart.
Where are we
that
falling
smart.
down in the Western world? Why are some people finishing up lonely? But the system apparently works, according to Simon.
Well, I actually agree with some of Simon's sentiments that I think that, Rochelle, you've got to lead by example. Like, if you disagree with these multinational companies, exercise your democratic right, maybe hold a rally in your local mall.
Go on a crusade.
Yeah,
if you feel that strongly about
Champion those sorts of rights, or maybe go speak to your local
it. God, wouldn't that be
politician.
boring? Oh,
But that's the beauty of a democracy. If he wants to run a multinational company, he can. If you disagree with it, voice your opinion. Go on Talkback.
How do you get money to run a
talk to you.
crusade, though? He's selling something. He can keep going as long as he sells. How do you do that?
People
interesting
power, power in numbers.
Tommy, what's going on here?
Oh, look, I just think she's having a whinge. Basically,
She's doing that.
yeah. I think, you know, it is a basic misunderstanding. Complaining about people because of the fact they've got a different opinion to yours. I mean, grow up. It's if someone, why someone that runs a chocolate company that sells, you know, coffee and stuff actually is talking about selling water, it's beyond me anyway.
Write it off. Don't give him any currency.
But the whole thing about, you know, voice up and, you know, talk about morons and all that sort of stuff, I mean, that's hardly constructive. And if you are going to try and get people power involved, just
Write
denigrating
to your parliamentarian,
people.
don't write to us.
Well, I don't know if that's the answer either. Yeah, they're a little bit busy doing other things at the moment, like trying to save their jobs. But yeah, people end up lonely and stuff. But we do have, there's no question that times have changed and we're in a different sort of community environment these days where how we communicate with each other and how we interact socially has changed dramatically in the last 15, 20 years with Facebook and everything else. This thing about the good old days, it's pretty convenient to talk about the good old days and fondly remember the good bits and forget the really crap bits, and there's lots of them. And people keep on talking about taking it back, and you even in your letter you talk about claim back people power. Why claim it back? Why not move forward? Do something different and rebuild community. I think the definition of community has changed dramatically. So get over it, find something else to whinge about, or
Very good.
or find another keyboard.
Tommy, what's the most provocative thing you've ever worn?
Provocative.
Man,
You
Kenny,
can
you haven't
repeat
got
on television.
No, I was in a band many years ago, and as a bit of a challenge, our final ever show at the infamous Charles Hotel.
Was?
And we had a bit of a bet within the band that we all had to go to a costume store, and all the other members had to pick an item for. Remember, you couldn't pick your own.
And you wore?
And yes, I fronted up on stage in a pink tutu.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work, Clobber.
Very good. I didn't pick up that
When
night.
we come back, we're going
No surprises
to talk
there.
about provocative clothing and whether we should all be guarded about what we're wearing. When we come back, don't go away. More of Sweet and Sour to come. Terrific.
That sounds more repulsive and.
Kick with an E on the end. Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now. And there it is, letters at sweetandsour.net.au. And for every letter that lands here, and we think good enough to discuss, we're going to send it to the movies, courtesy of the very gorgeous Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications, although her name's Natalie O'Shea now, isn't it?
That's right.
And she's got little Eloise in tow as well. There it is, Drift we're sending you to. I hear it's doing dynamite things at the box office.
Yes, it's super successful.
Not as successful as Star Trek, I
No,
believe.
Star Trek is breaking some records.
Can I go and see Star Trek?
You can.
I can? Are you going to give me a free
You've got
pass?
some connections. I think you got a free pass now.
No, I think he goes to Connection.
Don't let all the secrets out on the first episode.
Here we go. Dear Mitch and panellists, why is it that I have to stop wearing what I want? Because we have to cater to the idiots in our community. I'm at university studying for a Bachelor of Arts and Commerce combined with a dip ed so I can then teach. Last week on campus, one of the students' women's groups, targeting the new gen soon-to-be teachers, organised a meeting, and the outcome of the forum was that there are so many perverts and stalkers around, we can't afford to dress in a provocative manner because we'll be inviting trouble. To me, that's just like saying women deserve to be attacked and raped. Why does society push the blame for the ills that befall us onto the victims rather than the perpetrators? Surely this is a way to make it easier for idiots to prevail. This is a free society where I can wear what I choose and when I want. I have the same rights to say what I choose and when I say it. It's not okay for me to enforce my views on you as long as I don't. It's not okay for me to enforce my views on you, and as long as I don't hurt anyone, and I can't see how it would, please tell me why it's my responsibility to avoid dressing in a provocative manner. Hell, I don't even know what that is, and it comes to us from Philippa of North Adelaide in South Australia. Tom!
I find it quite interesting that this particular question comes to me first.
We discussed it earlier.
And here we are talking about perverts and stalkers and that sort of thing. I don't know what's going on there. Is there a message in that?
Yes.
Philippa, if you want to dress in provocative gear, you can get my contact details off Gary and can come and work with me. No problems at all. I have no objections to that. Not that I get a lot of work done. But I think it's a valid point. You should be able to wear what you want. In certain workplaces, obviously, there's requirements, and it might be wearing something
Like a bra.
like that covers your bum. I don't know, but
It's more a question on appropriateness, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Is it appropriate to go as a teacher to wear a bikini?
Well, yeah, if you're
a swimming
if you're a swimming teacher,
Well,
exactly.
there you go.
Yeah.
Appropriate if you're a
They
swimming
wear
teacher.
vests of some description.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think appropriateness is in the eye of the person perving, and but you're right to turn it round and go, you're asking for trouble. I think that's a horrible argument, and even coming from a bloke who does have a very, very checkered past, I still think that it's really, really ordinary that a girl can't wear something sexy without getting blamed for causing some sort of trouble, if indeed trouble happens. But equally, in a classroom situation as a teacher, yeah, I probably wouldn't mind if I think it might be a little bit more appropriate if you did sort of put the cleavage away and maybe, I don't know, wore knickers and stuff like that.
Desi, when was the last time you felt pressured to wear something more appropriate?
Don't tell him.
I would say that it was in high school.
Was it?
Yeah, when you're
Last
surrounded
year?
by your peers, you can sometimes succumb to
Hang
peer
on, but
pressure.
that was pressure from your peers.
From your peers,
Okay.
but I did not follow because, you know,
Any
you're
parental
your own
pressures?
person. Parental pressures.
Dress like a
No, they want you to cover up and dress appropriately, but they don't have to tell me that because I do it anyway. I mean,
You
look
just
at me
imagine
tonight.
Dad sitting there going, "You're going to go out in that and stand to your bloody knees."
Make it shorter. No, I just think in the classroom in particular, I'm, at the risk of sounding super conservative, I don't believe there's any room for revealing clothing because teachers are considered role models.
Not in the classroom.
Yeah, and they're teaching students, obviously, in an impressionable age. You've got to set a good example.
She's not even a teacher yet. She's wandering around.
She's only a
like
uni
nudist
student.
At uni.
Exactly.
That's what happens
Which
at
is
uni.
pretty cool. And I've got to say, there is a difference in values. I mean, if a teacher wanted to hang her bits out back in the days when I was at school, I would think it was totally appropriate. But if they want to do it to my daughter, put them away.
Rach,
Double standards, yeah.
what do you make of this letter?
I don't understand, really. I don't understand the women's group who fought for women to be able to do what they want are now saying you can't do that anymore.
Well, I don't know whether they're
I just
actually
find it
saying
to be
that.
quite hypocritical.
They're targeting the generation of soon-to-be
now.
teachers. So, you know, maybe they were just talking about what is appropriate
Being
rather
prudes.
than anything
In
else.
front of a group of teenage boys, you got to be in something somewhat appropriate.
Hubba.
Somewhat appropriate, I would say.
It's
Unless
just-
she really wants
it's
them
just
going
common
home
sense.
and
It's common
It is,
sense.
it is common sense.
Common sense.
Philippa,
Why would you be offended?
some
Would you
clothes
be
on.
offended?
me,
Yeah.
if a girl stood up in front of me with
No,
nothing
if somebody
on.
told you you've got to be
Well,
dressing appropriately.
I can't dress. If I could dress inappropriately, I would.
You would.
I would rock
She's
that if I had the
up
body,
and out.
but I don't.
All right.
Therefore, we stay
Simon?
covered.
Yes.
Last word on this, sir, to a man again.
Last word on this. Look, Philippa, you summed it up when you said it's a free society. You can wear what you choose when you choose to. It's the end of the story, baby. Wear what you want.
Yeah.
Don't worry about women's groups like this that are saying
Why
don't
would
wear
you
this
get
or
on
don't
your
wear
hobby
that.
horse?
Although I've got to say, I do, and I'm going to go on a personal rant here. I
Don't go for
like,
too long, that's all, we're getting the
we're
wind
getting the wind up. But I don't like the cut-off jean shorts where bum cheek hangs out the
yeah.
bottom. Unless that bum cheek has not a dimple in it, put it away.
You seen those where the pockets hang out?
Yeah,
of
nah.
the
Yeah,
shorts?
no.
Shorts should be
Not
longer
into
than
it.
your pocket.
Not into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing
Oh,
to
no,
the imagination.
there's always something to the imagination. Otherwise, I
You
wouldn't
run away
exist.
with your imagination.
But Tom, that's when you pay $10 to get in.
No, I get passes.
Passes
He's
at
got a
$10.
discount
Lead
card.
singer
Where
of
do
a
you
band,
folks
man.
go? When we come back, we're going to be talking about whether Aussies have become whingers after all this time. Don't go away. More Sweet and Sour.
Sweet and sour, because it's cheaper than a psychiatrist. We'll tell you if you're batshit crazy.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Straight into the next letter from Williamstown in Victoria. Hi Mitch, why are we so pissed off with politicians? My local member is a really decent bloke who has always helped my family and me anytime I've sought help. The whole world is in what seems to be economic strife at the moment, and Australia seems better off than most. But we still refuse to look beyond and see how good we've got it. Have Australians become the whingers of the world? We used to talk of whinging poms, yet as bad as they have it over there at the moment, I don't hear anywhere near the level of discontent that is so deafening here. How many of the panellists have actually ever made an appointment with or a phone call to their elected representatives? Why is this whinging disease spreading? Antonietta of Williamstown, as we said. Rach, are you a whinger?
Yes, I love whinging.
Why?
Because it gives me something to do. If I couldn't whinge, I'd have nothing to talk about. And why are we here? Obviously, people like to whinge.
That's our job. yeah. We wouldn't have
Case
been
in
going
point.
for 15 years unless
Antonetta.
people wanted to whinge. Antonietta.
Antonietta.
So you reckon we whinge because we're bored?
Yeah, well,
Gives
Yeah.
us something to do.
yeah. It gives
Yeah.
us something to do. We like complaining. We love to
Are
complain.
we more whingy now than what we used to be 10 years ago?
I was 10 years ago.
Were you a whinger?
So probably yes.
I was 12 when I first started whinging.
When I was first,
All right.
but I was
My
12,
first
yeah.
whinge.
Simon, you
So
were 13
probably.
10 years ago. Are we more whingy now than we used to be?
Look, I don't think so, Antonietta. I think you've got a little bit confused. You're listening to the media, and particularly when it comes to politics, it seems to be the media's role to just bag whoever's in power and bolster a little bit whoever's
Has our
in
media
opposition.
evolved a bit to that sort of direction?
Well, yeah. Well, no. Good news doesn't sell. Bad news sells, and if people will want to listen to a story about a politician, using the parliamentary card to buy hookers and things like that. People want to hear that sort of stuff. People don't want to hear about politicians saving babies and all the good things. So I think, Antonietta, you're getting a bit wrapped up in the whole media thing and listening too much to what the newspapers and the news programs say. I don't spend a great deal of time talking politics with my friends and the people I associate with. I don't have too many people whinging at me about it. Open your eyes, Antonietta, go outside and live.
Tommy, are we whinging only about politicians, or are we whinging about everything of late?
No, I think we're generally whinging more because people's expectations are much higher than they used to be. I think there's a couple of confused sort of issues in the letter. It goes from just whinging to whinging particularly about whether you've met your local politician or not. Politicians are easy targets. I mean, they make decisions that none of us really like. They talk about putting charges up and taxes up, and they do things that upset people. So they're pretty easy to take a shot at.
When was the last time you spoke to your local politician?
I'm actually reasonably involved in politics because of our fundraising side of things. We do a lot of work in that area.
So you chat often?
Yeah.
And you've met them and they're decent blokes and all that sort of thing?
I don't think anyone goes into politics that basically is a real bastard. I think everyone goes in there with good intentions. They want to do things by the community.
And just
where it falls down.
So it's just the system that
Well,
makes
I think it's the system. I think the parties, the element of control the parties have to get people to toe the line, changes what people can do. A single politician in an area, what's he going to do? He can't make any changes at all.
Good example.
And so from that point of view, they have to toe the party line. I mean, here we are talking about the gay marriage debate, for instance, and there's questions about whether the people in Parliament are allowed to actually have a conscience vote. I mean, what's that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that really should be a Liberal or Labor policy. That is a social thing, and so therefore the politicians should be able to actually have a social vote.
The system turns us into whingers, you're telling us.
Well, I think that, but also I think a lot of people have been spoilt. We do have it pretty well, but when things get a bit tough, and the talk about the media is quite interesting. I think you might have actually hit on the head a bit, Rach, about things to do. If you listen to Talkback Radio, the people that ring in are the people that are clearly bored, have a chip on their shoulder about something, and they yell the loudest. No one rings a radio station and goes, I had a really nice time yesterday.
I got every green light on the way to work this morning.
No one does that. You only ring up when you've got something to complain about, because then you've got the Howard Sattlers and these sorts of guys and the Alan Jones and the East Coast of the world that'll take a crusade with it and turn it into something much bigger than it is, because none of us really care.
Desi, are you a whinger?
I like to think I'm not a whinger, and if I am whinging, it's warranted.
What do you whinge about?
Well, you might whinge occasionally about having to work long hours and that sort of thing, but I wouldn't say I overly whinge that much.
Have Aussies become a bunch of whingers?
I don't think so, and you only have to look at the current state of the federal, party to know that that's understandable why they're whinging. I mean,
You've
look
got a
at
lot
the
to whinge
politicians.
about
They're
at
the
the moment.
minority that are doing things right at the moment.
Oh, really? Doing things right. A lot of people will
Disagree.
Disagree.
And that's
possibly.
what we're here for.
Tell me, do you like that letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunnies courtesy of Alon Treves and Aussie Opticals, or is there another one in there that you think might
not
be
that
better
one.
than that?
Oh, look, I think the young lady from North Adelaide, Philippa, who wants to bare her soul and her other bits.
Assets.
Yeah.
And she wants to be loud and proud
This
about
side of the panel, do you agree
hanging the
with
bits
Tommy?
out.
Well, I think at the very least she could
Well, you're
sell
gonna
the
get some-
ticket and buy yourself a neck-to-knee dress or something. You know?
Well, she wins some sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
At least she'll have something
Oh,
on.
something to
Be
wear.
able to tell
Yeah.
when you're
Something to
slutting
wear,
about on the
yes.
street.
Something to
Yes.
wear. Give us something to wear.
Desi?
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah,
coming
too.
out to Philippa of North Adelaide in South Australia, a pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alon Trees. We've got to go. Tommy, nice to have you on the show, mate.
Wonderful to finally lose my virginity.
But that's next week's letter, mate.
was
That's how we're going to
wonderful.
start the show.
Sorry, okay, I'll send that in to you, okay? I went on this panel and lost my virginity. What should I do?
Good to have you here, mate.
Keep
Thank
it
you.
clean.
We'll see you again. Desi,
Yes.
I'm going off to see Star Trek.
You enjoy.
I will. Nice to have you here, mate.
Good to be back.
Rach, enjoy
Gary,
being here?
Loved it. Had a great time.
Terrific.
Thank you for having me.
Say good day to the old man for us as well.
yes, bye.
Simon,
Mitch, always a pleasure. Thanks for
always
having me.
good to have you too, mate. Thank our wonderful panellists. Thank our terrific crew. And thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye. Da-da-da-da-da.